It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Living Daily, episode 1046, Helpful Tips When You're Stuck on Getting Started, by Zoe Kim with NoSidebar.com. And I'm your very own personal narrator, Justin Malik, reading to you from some amazing blogs and books to help you optimize your life. And if you ever want to suggest an author for the show, let me know. I'm always open to check out writers who might be a good fit. We've had some new ones lately, which is exciting. Some of them are quite well known. And if you want to suggest any others, you can come by oldpodcast.com to get in touch. And before we get to today's post, most job boards overwhelm you with tons of the wrong resumes. Not smart, but ZipRecruiter finds the right people for you and actively invites them to apply. Smart. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/old. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Now let's get right to it as we optimize your life. Helpful Tips When You're Stuck on Getting Started, by Zoe Kim with NoSidebar.com. Minimalism is a wonderful and practical tool to shed your clutter and find simplicity. When becoming minimalists, our physical possessions are an obvious place to start, but sometimes it's simply getting started that is the real struggle. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work in front of you and can't seem to get started, you're not alone. In my own life, I've struggled to find the time or motivation to tackle a decluttering project, but I've realized it's not actually the clutter that's the problem. It isn't that the task is actually insurmountable. It's my emotional clutter that's standing in the way. Quote, clutter is not just physical stuff. It's old ideas, toxic relationships, and bad habits. Clutter is anything that does not support your better self. Eleanor Brown. There have been situations where the clutter was not within my control to change and it left me feeling frustrated. But in either case, worrying and feeling frustrated about it just made the situation worse. We can decide to stop worrying because choosing a life of less can bring us peace. Helpful ideas when you're stuck on getting started. If you are having trouble taking first steps, here are some ideas that might kickstart your simple living journey. I hope they help. Number 1, think outside the rut. If the advice to start small and start easy hasn't worked for you, maybe it's time for a different approach altogether. When you find yourself saying, I don't have the time, there's just so much to do, I'm overwhelmed, or I don't know where to start, shift your focus to address the emotional clutter. Number 2, ask yourself questions. What keeps me from getting started? Is it exhaustion, depression, distractions, or even a desire for perfection? Maybe it's fear, obligation, or guilt that keeps you stuck on getting started. When you find your answer, name it out loud and make the decision to start anyway. A desire to meet my own high expectations and waiting to be ready has kept me back many times. Growing up, I remember hearing my grandmother say, don't wait for the stars to align perfectly. You'll never reach your goal if you stop and make friends with every fear that arises. And if you wait for everything to be perfect to take action, you may very well be waiting for a lifetime. Am I making excuses? If that room full of boxes you were going to sort or the bags of clothes in your car you were going to drop off 2 months ago are still there, you may be making excuses. The boxes are still in your house because at some point for 2 months, there was something else you'd rather do. Maybe you'd rather read a book or scroll on social media instead of sort through those boxes. That's okay, but if you want change, it's time to buckle down. Quote, don't sacrifice what you want most for what you want now. Henry Marsh. Am I living the same year over and over? Are you telling yourself the same thing year after year? This year I'm going to exercise. This year I'm going to clear out the clutter. This year I'm going to downsize, etc. I know I have. Quote, don't live the same year 75 times in and call it a life. Robin Sharma. Number 3, why power trumps willpower. Making a change is not about your willpower, it's about your motivation, your why. Dr. B.J. Fogg, founder of the Persuasive Tech Lab at Stanford, shows that 3 elements must converge at the same moment for behavior to occur. Motivation, your why, ability, and trigger. When a behavior does not occur, at least one of those 3 elements are missing. Notice that willpower is not one of the 3 essential elements of behavior. You can find your way when you discover your why. Number 4, find inspiration. Another way to increase your motivation is to find inspiration. There are plenty of enjoyable blogs on simple living, documentaries, and YouTube channels are a great way to find inspiration and stay motivated. Time and time again, I see folks in the No Sidebar Facebook group sharing how helpful the community has been. It provides encouragement and motivation to get started and keep going. Use it to your advantage. Number 5, counter discomfort with self-care. As you begin or attempt to start, feelings of discomfort often come. Counter discomfort with self-care by making time for it. Your self-care may also be part of your why. This is what you want more of. When we want to make a small change in our lives, self-care can help us push through the discomfort. Choose an area that you can declutter and use for self-care. Having a place to meditate, read, or practice yoga will boost your efforts. Number 6, start with the unemotional. Starting easy isn't just about starting small. Try decluttering areas or rooms that don't hold much sentimental items. A bathroom or a hall closet can be a good place to gain momentum and experience small wins. Number 7, create accountability. Make your desire public. Ask a close friend or family member to follow up every week on your progress, or find someone who wants to do it together. Number 8, practice gratitude. I'm sure I could include practice gratitude on every single list I write for the rest of my life. Gratitude may be one of the most overlooked tools that can change our lives. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can reduce a multitude of toxic emotions and change our behavior. Robert A. Emmons, a professor of psychology at UC Davis and a scientific expert on the science of gratitude, believes gratitude works because it allows people to celebrate the present and be an active participant in their own lives. We can incorporate a life theme of gratefulness and happiness when we set time aside daily to give gratitude for beautifully ordinary things in our lives. Number 9, experiment by elimination. This is one of my favorite ways to make progress while experiencing the immediate rewards of a simplified space. The idea is to choose one area or room, preferably one you use often, and clear nearly everything from it. Leave only what you really need, then box up the rest and put it out of sight. This allows you to experience the benefits in a space without stumbling on letting go. I suspect that after enjoying this newly uncluttered space for a few weeks, you'll have more motivation and clarification that will help you let go of the clutter you packed away in those boxes. And number 10, the power of making a decision. Sometimes for me, the first step towards making progress is deciding that I'm not going to stay where I'm at. I either move forward or I'll stay stuck. I recognize this is my decision and I decide to move. Every day I wake up, I'm given another opportunity to make new decisions. I may not reach my goal today or tomorrow, but I know little by little, a little will become a lot. You just listened to the post titled, Helpful Tips When You're Stuck on Getting Started by Zoe Kim with NoSidebar.com. And thank you again to ZipRecruiter. You know what's not smart? Making the lottery the centerpiece of your retirement plan. But you know what is smart? Going to ZipRecruiter.com/old to hire the right person. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you, it finds them for you. Its powerful matching technology scans thousands of resumes, identifies people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job, and actively invites them to apply so you get qualified candidates fast. That's why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the US, and this rating comes from hiring sites on Trustpilot with over 1,000 reviews. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/old. That's ZipRecruiter.com/OLD, ZipRecruiter.com/old. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And Zoe has a book out. It's called Minimalism for Families, Practical Minimalist Living Strategies to Simplify Your Home and Life, where she shares practical and actionable tips to clear the excess from every room in your home, strategies to shift your family's mindset, tips to help your kids see how minimalism can be applied in their lives, lessons learned, and more. Good topic, as minimalism with friends and family is a frequently asked question that I see. But I'll leave it there for today. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in tomorrow's show where we'll hear a post from TK Coleman and where your optimal life awaits.